It was a cold December evening when I first noticed something was off. The house was quiet, almost too quiet except for the faint sound of my wife's laughter echoing from the living room. Sarah, my wife of 8 years, was sitting on the couch. With her phone in hand, her smile brighter than it had been in months. "Who's that?" I asked casually, walking into the room. She quickly locked her phone and looked up at me, her expression suddenly guarded. "Just a meme from Ashley," she said, referencing her best friend. But something about her tone was off. She sounded nervous, as if she was trying too hard to be nonchalant. I let it slide, but a knot formed in my stomach. Sarah had been distant for weeks, staying late at work, spending weekends with friends, and guarding her phone like it held state secrets. I wanted to believe her, but my gut told me otherwise. Little did I know, that night would be the beginning of the end for us. That night, I couldn't sleep. Sarah's nervous smile, the quick way she locked her phone, the way she had been so distant, all played on a loop in my mind. I had no proof, just a gut feeling that something wasn't right. But as the days turned into weeks, her behavior became more obvious. Late nights at work became a regular occurrence. Weekends with friends seemed to pop up more often. She was glued to her phone, her face lighting up with smiles and laughter that weren't directed at me. I wanted to trust her after all we built. A life together, a marriage that I thought was solid, unbreakable. Something told me I was no longer the center of her world. One evening, while Sarah was in the shower, she left her phone on the kitchen counter. It buzzed with a notification. My heart raced as I glanced at the screen. It was a message from someone named Mike. The preview read, "Can't wait to see you again. Last night was amazing." I froze, my hands trembling as the reality of her betrayal started to sink in, but I didn't open the message, not yet. Instead, I made a plan. I needed proof, concrete evidence to confront her. Over the next week, I started paying closer attention every time she smiled at her phone, every time she left the house with vague excuses, every time she came home late with a scent of cologne that wasn't mine. My suspicions grew stronger. I began tracking her movements, keeping note of where she said she was going versus where she actually went. It didn't take long to confirm my fears. One Friday evening, Sarah told me she was going out with Ashley. "We're just grabbing drinks downtown," she said, her tone casual. I nodded, pretending not to care. As soon as she left, I got into my car and followed her. She didn't go downtown. Instead, she drove to a cozy little restaurant on the outskirts of the city. From my spot in the parking lot, I watched as she met a man, Mike. He greeted her. With a hug that lingered too long, and a kiss on the cheek that felt too intimate, they went inside and I sat there, my hands gripping the steering wheel, my mind racing with anger and heartbreak. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I hired a private investigator the next morning. If Sarah was cheating, I needed undeniable proof. Over the next 2 weeks, I got it photos, timestamps, locations. It was all there. Sarah and Mike meeting at restaurants, walking, hand in hand, even entering a hotel together. It was everything I needed, but it didn't make the pain any easier. The night I confronted Sarah is one I'll never forget. She came home late as usual, her face glowing from whatever secret rendezvous she'd just had. I was sitting in the living room, the folder of evidence on the coffee table in front of me. "Hey," she said, walking in with a smile. "Why are you still up?" I didn't answer. Instead, I gestured to the couch. "Sit down." Her smile faded. "What's going on?" I pushed the folder toward her. "You tell me?" She hesitated, her eyes darting to the folder. Slowly, she opened it. The color drained from her face as she flipped through the photos and documents. "Jason, I can explain," she stammered. "Explain? Explain what?" I said, my voice calm but firm. "That you've been sneaking around with Mike for months? That you've been lying to me while throwing away our marriage?" Tears filled her eyes. "It's not what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like," I snapped. "You lied to me, Sarah. You betrayed me." She started crying, her words a jumble of apologies and excuses. "I never meant to hurt you. It just happened. He made me feel special, like I mattered. And I didn't?" My voice broke. Everything we've built, everything we've shared, it wasn't enough for you? She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. Jason, I'm sorry, I'll end it. I'll do whatever it takes to fix this. But it was too late. No, the damage was done. Trust, once broken, is almost impossible to rebuild. The next day, I began planning my revenge. Sarah's betrayal had destroyed me, but I wasn't going to let her walk away unscathed. She and Mike thought they could keep their affair a secret, but I was going to expose them for what they were. I started small. I made copies of the evidence and sent them anonymously to Sarah's workplace. Mike was a colleague of hers, and their affair violated company policy. Within a week, they were both called into HR and fired. Then I moved on to social media. Using a fake account, I posted the photos and documents online, tagging Sarah and Mike. The post went viral within hours, spreading through our circle of friends and beyond. The public humiliation was swift and brutal. Sarah begged me to take the post down, but I refused. You wanted to feel special, Sarah? Well, now, the whole world knows just how special you are. The final step in my revenge came during our divorce proceedings. Sarah had no idea that I'd been quietly preparing for this moment. I'd gathered all the financial records documenting her spending on her affair. I'd also changed the locks on the house and moved her belongings into storage. By the time she realized what was happening, it was too late. The divorce was swift and one-sided. I walked away with the house, the car, and the majority of our savings. Sarah, on the other hand, was left with nothing but her guilt and the ruins of her reputation. It's been a year since that night. I've rebuilt my life, focusing on my career and my own happiness. The scars of Sarah's betrayal are still there, but they've made me stronger. I've learned to trust my instincts, to stand up for myself, and to never settle for less than I deserve. As for Sarah and Mike, I hear they're no longer together. The weight of their betrayal proved too much for their fragile relationship. I can't say I'm surprised. After all, relationships built on lies rarely last. Looking back, I realized that my revenge wasn't just about punishing Sarah and Mike. It was about reclaiming my power, my dignity, and my sense of self. And for that, I have no regrets.